At home here in the conservatory, it's a beautiful South Florida sunny morning, and we're going to talk a little about sunlight. Good light there is, bad light not different, because bad light, UV, is why we wear protection, have blue blockers in our lenses from screens. Natural sunlight, though, is what makes all the green around me. That's peaches. That green around me is possible because of chlorophyll. It's the chemical that's in all plant cells that actually allow it to reflect back the light it's not absorbing. That's why we're going to talk a little bit about light today, because light is where not only green, but all the colors in the spectrum, the visible spectrum, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, otherwise known as violet, are those colors. And there's a range, and I see plants and the ones that I particularly find fun to breed with in color. Now, whether that's red, which I'll show you in a moment, is on one side of that spectrum, or violet, the color range is quite remarkable. What most people don't know about me is I'm actually blind in this eye, and yet I can see light coming through without any detail. This is my focus lens, and this one sees color. I'm fascinated by color in plants, and I've spent years hybridizing things to express that color. And even if you're not interested in the details about breeding, I'm going to spend a minute or so sitting down with some plants and telling you how I saw color and how to express and bring it out. Because all plant leaves eventually will turn green, and then even the color changes to yellow through what's called senescence. As a leaf ages, the leaves that drop from the trees are not green anymore. So that's the life cycle of a leaf and chlorophyll. But when the birth of that leaf happens, chlorophyll can be quite colorful. I'll show you. Pull together a few plants here. This one in the middle, at least we tried to get it here this way because this is one that expresses more of the purple, the violet colors. You can still see it in the veins. When that leaf came out, it was a deep, dark violet color. However, these are bred more to express red, and the new leaf coming out in red is different. You notice how they both, though, as they age, they turn green. And that's why what I want to show you next is I want to draw on this pad here what happens when purple eventually turns to green. What's the intermediate color compared to when red advances to green? What's the intermediate colors you look for? Because those colors are sometimes the ones that people find most fascinating in the new leaves and the mature leaves of these velvet-leafed anthuriums. So for colors, I want to show you something a moment about the color not of the plants, but of the sky, blue. I'm going to take some blue and just put it here on the paper. And as everybody may remember from when you were in school as a school child, if I take yellow and I combine blue with this yellow, the color that actually derives is green, a whole different color, green. I want to point that out because if you're only familiar with blue and yellow make green, then watch. If we know that all of these plants' leaves eventually turn to green, I want to draw some green here a moment to prove something to you about how I see colors when I'm breeding. Let's look at two examples of leaves that both eventually turn green. One of those leaves may come out with a red color. Here's primary red. And another leaf may come out purple. So here is what otherwise would be called primary purple. But here's where the magic happens. When a red leaf matures and turns green, it goes through an intermediate stage that many people find beautiful. The veins may still be there, but the color in the intermediate portion of that is actually, let's see how you can see this. Even with my one good eye, that color is actually brown. And so intermediate stages of a leaf morphing from red to green transitions through brown. This may be even more remarkable for those of you who haven't tried it. If you put violet or purple on top of green, let's see what happens. This is typical in a Michelle. It's one of the things that fascinated me when I first started developing it. There it is. Green with the violet on it makes a color that is nearly black. And so here the difference between an intermediate stage of black in Michelle or brown and other red leaf varieties, of which I have several, makes the whole color range a very dynamic process. But now you know how come this process happens. It's the evolution of photocells, otherwise called chloroplasts, through different stages of the expression that you see. And that's what engages us to nature. The plants are fascinating this way. I'm convinced they engage us partly by what gets truly to our minds and our imagination about their beauty.